What is good, y'all? Can you hear me? Hello. Shouts out to those of y'all in the fucking offline chat. Shouts out to those of y'all watching in the Allston Melee VOD format, my favorite, my secret passion that no one really knows about. Cool. What's good, y'all? Cool. I'm gonna mute the audio for a second, and we're gonna watch a video before we get into my good old Zoom presentation for the class. My good friend and recent friend, Darwin Ding, has been going hard in the Melee YouTube content sphere, and I would love to watch and react to this video. We're doing a hashtag react content today. But yeah, this dude makes some fire videos. I watched like 2 seconds of this, and I was like, oh, okay. We're actually not watching this one. We're watching the newer one. But yeah, let's run it. Run it. Can you hear Darwin? Let me know if you can hear it. But let's run it. Go subscribe to Darwin. Specifically in doubles. Yeah, real. All right, real quick, this intro is so fucking good. Just want to point that out there. Darwin's the king of intros. Really only has what? Real quick, we're 30 seconds into this video. Has 5 videos, and I've learned something. Mute city, mute city, mute city. Oh, you guys can't hear him. Okay. Hold on. Oh, perfect. Good. Well, good thing I stopped 30 seconds in. Yeah, my dude has some fire intro, so we'll just watch it again.
I come from the future, and I'm here to tell you that your blossoming career in competitive video games will end in one of 3 ways. The first is that you can retire peacefully, on top of the world, after achieving basically everything you've ever wanted with your game of choice. You'll be remembered in the annals of history, although a random Redditor here or there will still wonder if you could break top 100 today. The second is that you could improve at a crazy rate, but then have your career stolen from you at the peak of your skill by a health problem, like watching your hands disintegrate before your very eyes.
I'm interested. 30 seconds in. No, let's say 5 seconds in. He got me, you know? That is something that we've been trying to get better with. That is something I think, you know, really every Melee content people could get better with, because like, you know, the Melee people will probably watch your video to the end, or at least like halfway through, but the people who aren't Melee people, you know, gotta catch them somehow. And I feel like if I wasn't even in part of the community, I would be like, okay, my dude is spitting right now.
The third, you'll be remembered in the annals of history, although a random Redditor hero...
You can still barely hear it? Okay, hold on. Guys, I've never been a React YouTuber, okay? It's my first time being a React YouTuber. We're running it back for the 3rd time. Darwin Ding, hit the subscribe button.
I come from the future, and I'm here to tell you that your blossoming career in competitive video games will end in one of 3 ways. The first is that you can retire peacefully, on top of the world, after achieving basically everything you've ever wanted with your game of choice. You'll be remembered in the annals of history, although a random Redditor here or there will still wonder if you could break top 100 today. The second,
look at how sad Hungry Rocks and Beauty wonder
if you could break top 100 today.
Hbox has that I'm smiling to not be uncomfortable face.
The second is that you could improve at a crazy rate, but then have your career stolen from you at the peak of your skill by a health problem, like watching your hands disintegrate before your very eyes. The third, and sadly most likely, is that you simply drop off at some point during your progression. You stop caring, you stop showing up to tournaments, and then you fade away into the void, leaving behind an unfinished resume of Smash.gg results. Actually, there's also a fourth way. You can become arguably the greatest of all time in your game, and get caught in a match-fixing scandal that not only blows up the game you got good at, but also literally gets you investigated by your country's local officials.
StarCraft.
I've been playing competitive Smash since 2013, which by no means is old school in this game built around a game that came out when I was 6 years old.
He's funny with the editing. He's
funny
with the editing. I've been around the block
enough times to see most of the players I started playing with just drift away.
Oh, real quick. If you haven't hit this button, go do it. Go literally do it. Look, Darwin Ding, hit it in YouTube, and hit the stupid red button. Because, come on, my dude is spitting. We're a minute into this video, and he's got all of us.
And when I see newer players obsess about this is old school in the scene built around a game that came out when I was 6 years old. but I've been around the block enough times to see most of the players I started playing with just drift away from the game. And when I see newer players obsess about the fastest way to learn, the right ways to practice, and how hard they should be grinding, I can't help but think about how little that will all matter if 2 years down the line, they aren't even around to see the fruits of their labors. To me, the first step in combating burnout is to simply realize that it's happening. We often treat emotional state in a binary way. Either you feel sad or you don't, but I've always seen it as more of a spectrum. Every time I've burned out enough to need to take a major break from the game, it's always been after weeks and months of warning signs I didn't know to look out for. Through trial and error, I've learned that the first time
I don't even have shit to say. I love that. I do. I love that that someone out here is making the content like this, because tons of people make Melee content on sort of mindset stuff, but not like approaching it like this. Like, I can't even describe it in words, but he's just coming at it with a different vibe, and I'm loving the vibe.
time that I should reassess my attitude towards competing is when I start heavily leaning on routine. There are so many different methods of improving at Melee, like tinkering with I need data, programming 20xx CPUs to do motions over and over, and pretending like I do anything with my folder or Slippy replays. When my mental state is great, I feel open-minded enough to embrace all these methods of practice, because learning gives me more tools to express myself in game. But when I feel like poop, I find any excuse to lean on my tried and true habits of just mindlessly queuing into the infinite legion of unranked Falcos. This simple metric of noticing when I'm resisting new types of learning becomes a teensy litmus test that warns me well in advance that I'm starting to see.
Dude, Zane.
Resisting.
Did you say I'm sorry?
Becomes a teensy litmus test that warns.
Don't say I'm sorry. There's a screaming crowd behind you, bro. And you just won game 5.
Me well in advance that I'm starting to see
different era.
Slog.
Panda
when Melee
Global
transforms from a video
Zane.
game into the day job I'm trying to get away from, I find it helpful to have quick fixes that improve my mood. I want to bring up an anecdote of my literal worst tournament performance of all time, which happened at Gommel 2019. It was this weekend that I flew into Toronto for a super major,
Is this
only to
Jason wobbling him at Gommel?
accidentally drink way too much caffeine before my pool, become a nervous, anxious wreck, and go 0-2, despite having gone to super majors for years and having made it out of round 1 pools multiple times at this point.
Any of y'all in chat ever gone 0-2 at a major? I've gone 0-2 at a major. I think my first, I went 0-2 at Pound 2016. And I'm sure if I thought about it hard enough, I've probably gone 0-2 again. Just like that exact thing, except replace caffeine with alcohol. Yeah, I mean, tournaments are hard. Sometimes you just like you get the person who got upsetted, round 2 or round 1 in your losers round 2, and suddenly you lost to 2 top 5 in Indiana and in Idaho players, and you're just like, all right, well, fuck this. I'm gonna go cheer on my friends. But yeah, I mean, sometimes you make it to the end of the pool and you almost make it out, or you do successfully make it out, and you're like, fuck yeah, I made it out of pools, or I was one set away. You can tell your friends, I was just one set away. If I just had that one player different. But yeah, I'm sure, unless you're like, I don't know. I wonder what like the best player ever to go 0-2 at a major. Oh, didn't like KJH go 0-2 at a major once? Anyway, whatever. I'm focusing on this too hard.
I distinctly
Everyone has a
remember
bad
getting
day.
up-thrown, up-smashed multiple times by this freaking Luigi. And if you know the matchup, you'll know that this is not a true combo. You can just hold behind the Luigi, and he actually can't get Jack Diddley Squad off of grab.
Hey, he learned that, right? He knows that now. Or maybe he knew that then. It was just getting fucked.
I knew this at the time, but I was so consumed
sweet.
by frustration to get Jack Diddley Squad off
Thank
of
you for
grab.
answering it, Darwin.
And I knew this at the time, but I was so consumed by frustration at myself and a general vague awareness that this was squandering months of preparation leading up to this event.
Great editing right now. Great editing. We could take notes.
And mid-game, I was already thinking about the flood of, didn't you go to that one tournament? How did you do? That I would have to answer for weeks to come. But this weekend actually taught me an important lesson, because my friends at the event were really understanding, and I still had a blast. We bar crawled through Toronto, I overdosed on poutine, and I still got to engage in some of my favorite post-tournament run rituals. I got a tattoo drunk and spent the nights fiending for friendlies against random players with my secondaries, pretending that this was my first tournament and that I had been playing for 6 weeks. I think that over time, I've learned that cultivating a friend group, especially people going through the same grind as me, really takes the edge off of any transient failure that happens. Every Smash player I've talked to has countless stories of getting frustrated and underperforming, and if you don't believe me, you can just stare at the faces of players on stream. Frustrated.
God, this is such a moment. If we're gonna make like I'm not saying Allston Melee top 10 moments in Melee, but like, just like if Edwin Budding was to make the the blog article of the top 10 most legendary moments in Melee. This goddamn picture might be one of them. Just HBox in the back with the hands on the hips. God, this is such like a sad, but just like the people in the crowd have never looked at Jabali in the back. Crunch. Oh, crunched. Oh, that could be an emote. Crunch face.
Frustrated and underperforming, and if you don't believe, every Smash player I've talked to has countless stories of getting frustrated and underperforming, and if you don't believe me, you can just stare at the faces of players on stream. Well, I didn't sleep well the night before, and I didn't get to warm up, and Toronto.
Is this Darwin? Did Darwin go to Mass Madness and get wobbled by Infinite? Oh yeah, he definitely did. I've played him. I've played him in tournament.
Stare at the faces of players on stream. Well, I didn't sleep well the night before, and I didn't get to warm up, and Toronto is so freaking cold. Like, why would anyone live in a country where you have to worry about getting mauled by grizzly bears? And even nowadays that in-person events are all wrecked by COVID, there are so many ways of reminding ourselves that Melee isn't...
Oh, he said the word. He's not afraid. He's not a YouTuber who's afraid to say the word. I think we're afraid to say the word. I don't know why we're afraid to say the word. Just other YouTubers are like, if you say COVID in your YouTube video, it'll get algorithm ghosted. He said the secret
events
word.
Are all wrecked by COVID. There are so many ways of reminding ourselves that Melee isn't a solitary slog. Like chatting with friends over Discord about improvement, having a beer and talking about lane matchups,
having fun
and messing
with
around with silly game modes. Sometimes I think people can have a really one-dimensional view of practice and overfixate on a need to be productive. But I found it really helpful to view rest and fun as important investments in my future self, especially when I need to cash in on mental toughness later on. While short-term fixes can take the edge off of burnout, I think there's only one ultimate way to maintain a positive
This was a
outlook
great
over years
set.
of play.
I remember this set.
For me, that was cultivating an internal sense of purpose from playing. That's
This is
detached from
one of the
external
best
results,
Marthados
like
in a
whether
long
I'm on
time.
a power ranking or whatever. I have this edgy thought that if going to the gym is inducing small bouts of physical stress on my body for the sake of becoming physically stronger, then competitive video games is the same thing, but to develop mental resilience.
Oh, get
It's
fucked.
just how
Either
failing at the
Honey
gym doesn't
Badger
really
or
matter.
Pledge.
Losing a tournament set for a video game also won't kill me in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, that's true.
I love
It
competing
will not kill you.
because it challenges me in new and quirky ways that has tangibly helped me in all other aspects of my life. Trying to maintain perfect clarity.
This video fucks. Oh god, Darwin makes such good videos. He only has 400 subscribers. He should have 9K. He should have how much do we have? I think we have 9K or we have 8K. He should have 7.5, slightly under us, but right there. No, actually we should have 20K and he should have 9K where we're at. Yeah, that's what we need to do.
And focus when competing on stage, dealing with my own ego in tandem with all the other egos around me, and learning to dredge up those last vestiges of willpower in the last stock, last game set. These are just fascinating self-improvement projects to be working on. With this reframing, every in-game and out-of-game roadblock I run into just becomes an interesting puzzle for me to solve, both physically and mentally.
Oh, that's versus
Even
him.
when
That's
I
cool.
encounter a
Oh
random
my
person
god, you're
on
getting
unranked with salty
fucked, Darwin.
and taunting in between every stock, the situation becomes win-win. Either I wreck their salty,
This is
both
funny.
physically and mentally. Even when I encounter a random person on unranked with salty and taunting in between every stock, the situation becomes win-win. Either I wreck their dumb face, and that always feels good, or I get challenged psychologically in a unique way. And as a meta point, when I read stories of YouTubers burning out on Reddit because they fixate on how many views their videos get or sub counts, it reminds me of all the mental traps I had to navigate in my Smash career when I cared a little too much about any given bracket result.
Is he talking shit about me?
Ultimately, if there was one takeaway of this video, I think it would be that beyond all the frame data and matchup analysis, video games are supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
Somewhere down the line, it's easy to forget that at its core,
Yes.
Melee is this weird anomaly of a game where you can talk about doing a dash dance, shield stop, reverse, short hop, sour spot, forward air edge cancel, as if we're playing competitive Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Yes,
And that
I
just
say this
owning a
all the time.
GameCube
Hell
controller
yeah.
initiates you into a strange, niche, worldwide subculture built around a party game that its creators want nothing to do with that came out in 2001. And from time to time, getting sweaty and tryhard and over-optimizing how Princess Peach beats up a fighter plane pilot on Yoshi's Story, while absurdly cheerful music plays.
Can we just hire him? Is that cool? Are we cool with that, guys? Can we just take Darwin and just Darwin's ours now, and Darwin writes our scripts? Is that cool? Yeah, that's fine, right? Okay, that's fine.
in the background.
Oh god, he's so
that little
good.
elephant peeks her head out and says hi can be the best kind of fun.
Ah,
Hello, thank you for watching. It
God.
is quite late, so
you made a great video, bud. I'm proud of you. This was fire. This was definitely, in my opinion, the best video he's put out yet. At least it touched me the most. And I'm sure, maybe one of his other videos touch you even harder. And never mind. Moving on. Hey guys, shout out to you if you can guess correctly how many drinks I've been having. They're just different caffeine.